Welcome, Climate Viewers. It's October 28th, 2017. I'm Jim Lee from ClimateViewer News, and I'm overjoyed to bring you this article from MIT about HAARP. Nikki Florio sent me this in my email today, and I read through it, and I've got to say I am very pleasantly surprised to see that a doctor from MIT read my HAARP research and literally quoted me word for word. As a researcher who's been working on this topic for the better part of 7 years, I really haven't talked about HAARP since like 2014. Most of you guys probably don't even know that I ever talked about HAARP because it's, I've been really focused on geoengineering issues lately. But this guy writes this article, Purposeful Anthropogenic Climate Alteration, RF Ionospheric Heater Arrogance, e.g. HAARP. Now, I want to go ahead and give a big shout out to Dr. Rick Shankman. You, my ninja. I love you for loving me and sharing this. I want to give another shout out to Mr. Dr. Rick Shankman, Dr. Rick Shankman, creator of Fantas Lube. Don't know what it is, but he made it. There you go. Pretty cool. So a doctor on climatex.mit.edu wrote an article basically tongue lashing the scientific community using my research. So let's go through it. I'm going to read this to you because it just doesn't get any better. All right. So he says, and now 'tis man who dares assault the sky. Gives a quote up the top. Love stuff like that. That you know me. This is a difficult article to write. Now, that should give everybody a big heads up about what's happening here, because most of the time when us conspiratards get, shellacked in the media, and all that, it doesn't really come off like this, where the guy's going, we're all about to eat crow, be prepared. Love it. Endless tsunamis of disinformation, denial, and outright lying surround the purposes of ionospheric heaters, make like any attempt to write about this topic look like a tinfoil hat conspiracy novel. The sad truth, it should be a conspiracy novel. Then it would be safer for mankind on this planet. This because it would be fiction rather than fact. What? There was a time when I thought no act of scientific recklessness and arrogance could top the MIT Lincoln Labs 1963 Project Westford Space Needles ionospheric garbage dump, but HAARP and its brethren. I saw that, and immediately I was like, wait a minute now. I'm the only one who talks like that. Who talks like that? This guy. Oh, what just happened? So I'm like, oh, snap. First of all, my video's got 100,000 views. So that's a win. I'm pretty darn stoked about that. But this dude on MIT just linked to my video. I'm going, oh, what's going on here? Pinching myself and stuff. And he says, but HAARP and its brethren have finally done it. This HAARP and the like, linked to Seuss, I'll show you all those in just a minute. That's another ionospheric heater, is the epitome of arrogance and irresponsibility with Earth's atmosphere. Project Westford brought almost universal condemnation from the world's scientific community, including the Royal Astronomical Society and the UN, yet the US government and MIT were undeterred. That was 1963. Now on to the present. Before we go to the present, let's talk about this Project Westford, because some of you guys have probably never heard of that. I'm over here on weathermodificationhistory.com, and I got something up on the screen I think you might find interesting. 1958, metal particle space ring to melt the Arctic. Two very Russian-sounding guys proposed putting a metallic potassium particle ring into polar orbit to melt polar ice. Why is that interesting? Because the very next thing they did was create that thing. So excuse me, 1961, 1963, Project Westford needles, 480 million copper dipole antennas were launched into orbit. That's what the guy's talking about. This is a monumentally stupid idea where they thought that they could put these needles into space. I'm pretty sure the guy read this on my site too. It's pretty epic, right? Come on, it's history. So this Project Westford was one of the dumbest ideas in history. And their idea was to create an artificial ionosphere made of metal. And this ties right into current day operations of HAARP. The reason why they do that is because the ionosphere is unpredictable. They want to know where their signals are going. And if they could replace the unpredictable ionosphere with metallic particles, then they could control it all. By the way, they could also melt the poles and get to the oil. Back to the article. So he brings that up, and then he goes on to, so first, the official story, and this is a link to Scientific American, human activity will heat Alaskan skies deliberately and picturesquely. I know, it makes me sick, right? I got to look at this. Picturesquely. It's going to be beautiful, everybody. That's Scientific American kissing their ass. This is February 2017. This week, powerful radio waves will disturb the ionosphere to probe satellite disruptions and create strange glows. Artificial aurora. Gotta love it. They spin. So back to the article. The official story of why we should beam high-powered radio signals into the atmosphere to perturb it. Let me see if I can zoom this safely. With the breakup of the Soviet Union, submarine communications no longer seem crucial, and HAARP needed a new raison d'etre. I can't do that. I'm Southern, damn it. Okay. Supporters propose new tactics such as studying ELF waves' ability to map out underground bunkers like those found in North Korea, a goal that quickly drew skepticism. Okay, so they're talking about using HAARP to look underground. Interested? Let's continue. After the terrorist attacks of 9/11, however, the military found a new use for HAARP. In 2002, a panel headed by Anthony Tether, director of DARPA, recommended the facility be used to study ways to counter the effects of a high-altitude nuclear detonation, which would release energetic electrons that could cripple low Earth satellites. So, protecting us from EMPs in space using HAARP. Sounds like a great idea. Electrons are produced naturally in the region where the solar wind and the stream of energetic particles flowing from the sun slams into the magnetic envelope. Blah, blah. This is so boring. We're going to move past this part. So anyway, this is where they had the... Let's go ahead and show this thing. I'll go ahead and bring my page up. So over here, on the HAARP page, they had this thing. This was the idea, basically. I cut this slide out of the actual Tether panel Eisenhower Institute thing. Link right below right there. Satellite threat due to high altitude nuclear detonation, Eisenhower Institute. And we are on climateviewer.com/HAARP. All right, so I guess right now we're probably about halfway into this thing. Don't hold me to it, but in case you guys haven't heard, I'm going to the Weather Control Conference 2018. It's going to be over in Austin, Texas in January, where all of the people who modify the weather are going to be hanging out with the American Meteorological Society. If you guys would like to help out with that, it is at gofundme.com/weather-control-conference-2018. Link will be in the details. This is going to be kind of important because the stuff like I'm talking about right now in this video, HAARP, I'm going to go meet these scientists and we're going to have it out. I mean, we're going to have a discussion. It'll be a gentleman's discussion, but I want to put our perspectives in their face. I've done my homework. Everybody here knows that. It's time to actually deliver the message. So please help me get there at the GoFundMe link in details. And I will be putting this up on ClimateViewer.com shortly. It's been a busy week, but we're already 2 days in and we're $1,800 in. Love, yeah, you guys love me. I love you back, and we're doing this for the right reason. We're going to get it done. Back to the story. So this Eisenhower Institute slide used HAARP facility in Alaska as a wind tunnel to determine the feasibility and engineering specifications of a mitigation system for nuclear explosions in space. Oh, Milky, we're going to film it all. When I go to this Weather Mod conference, I've got an Emmy award-winning videographer going with me, and he's going to record the whole thing. It's going to be epic. It's going to be epic. And I've already talked to the American Meteorological Society's press office lady, and she told me that I was cool to record whatever I like except for the presentations themselves. And each of the presentations will be recorded on their website when they're done. So that being said, so they basically talk about here is using HAARP to suck electrons out of space rapidly. And the idea is to create artificial auroras when you suck that radiation out. So the big idea is if North Korea fires a nuclear weapon at America and it goes over the continental US, it does not have to hit the ground or even get near the ground to screw us all up. Because if it were detonated 20, 30 miles above us, it would knock out the power to the whole damn country. So this is a real, actual problem. EMP threat from high altitude electromagnetic pulse weapons is greater than actually getting hit by a nuke. Because why would you blow up one county when you could take out the power in a whole country? And solar flares can do the same thing. Like the Carrington event, they could blow out all the power on the planet. So they sell this from their scientific perspective and to the policymakers as the only thing on the planet that could save us from electromagnetic doom. Back to the story. So he tells that up there and he says, well, seems harmless enough. Build a giant radio beam to aggravate electrons of the ionosphere, artificially heating the atmosphere in a manner simulating bombardment of the Earth by solar flares. This project, in pursuit of possibly learning how to counter the effects of a nuclear holocaust in space, peachy keen. But I'm pretty sure that's not what Stanford is saying it's doing with it. And he links to the Stanford VLF research site. And it's vlf.stanford.edu/research/experiments HAARP ionospheric heater. Now, Stanford specifically is doing all kind of VLF stuff. And they started doing this a long time ago at Seipel Station in Antarctica. Uno momento while I catch my breath. So down in Antarctica, they started pumping electricity in the sky. It was called the Christofilos effect. And basically it rides along the magnetic Van Allen belts from pole to pole, scraping electrons out as it goes. They had a one-hop experiment where they put a what do you call it? A buoy down by Alaska. That's the buoy right there. And they got a boat that listens for VLF stuff, and they got these little antennas. They listen for the VLF stuff. Yes, we won't get into earthquakes tonight. Chat room. Leave it alone. But yes, producing high-powered ELF and VLF signals, in my personal opinion, could seriously cause earthquakes. Long history on that. We'll do it in another video. It's just way off topic. He says, now for the not so official version, and that's when he links to my page. And everything past here is just a copy paste from my freaking website, guys. So I just rocked back in my chair and I was like, holy crap. That is super epic love from Dr. Shankman, and I will be emailing him to thank him gratuitously for that. Anyway, wow. Data love, man. So he links to this beautiful page over here on climateviewer.com/HAARP. And you can see that I pretty much cut straight to the chase. I think he starts right about here with the definition, and you can see that this right here, there's a little timeline and how it works. And that's pretty much what he pasted. You can see right there, there's the timeline and how it works. Now, I could go through all of this. That would make this video extremely lengthy. But what I want you guys to understand is this. You know, the real definition of what an ionospheric heater is, because I think that a lot of people get hella confused about this, even some of my closest friends. So let's really define the hell out of it tonight for everybody so we can really know what we're talking about. An ionospheric heater is a powerful high-frequency transmitter that operates between 2.8 to 10 megahertz. This is crucial. 2.8 to 10 megahertz. Now, and I haven't, and I'm going to leave it at this. I have not researched HAARP in detail since like 2015. So everything that you see on my site is just stuff I did when I was on that topic. I'm going to go back to that topic and get into the satellites and all the stuff that they're doing now with the boats. But as of my last check, the only ionospheric heaters on the planet that were called ionospheric heaters, and I saw science papers proving that they all operated between 2.8 and 10 megahertz, and here's why. If it's above that, it goes through the ionosphere. If it's below that, it reflects off the ionosphere. Generally speaking, of course, there's always special ways around that, but regardless, powerful high-frequency transmitter that induces controlled temporary modification to electron temperature at a desired altitude. So they heat a portion of the sky, typically 150 kilometers to 300 kilometers. Not like where the planes are flying, okay? We're talking 300 kilometers is a long damn way away, okay? But still, it affects everything underneath in many untold ways. Some of them could be very scary. Some of them like affecting your brain. And I didn't say it. The Russian government said it, and the Union Concerned Scientists and the U.S. military in their own literature mind war about how ELF waves endure great distances and could be used in conjunction with media broadcasts as well to do mind control. So your media broadcasts, probably not a good thing. Probably not a good thing. So please, guys, check out climateviewer.com/HAARP. I want to show you the map too. Let's see what else we got over here. Here is the map. The map is linked on climateviewer.com. And you can see these are the ionospheric heaters. I'm going to lay it out for you flat earthers. There you go. Flat as a pancake. Boom. Oh, Lord. I'm just going to get myself in trouble tonight, aren't I? Anyway, Arecibo is right here. Jicamarca, Peru is right here. Look like that. Got a big field of wires. Okay. HAARP up here in Alaska right there. Looked like that. 180 cross dipole antennas. 2.8 to 10 megahertz, 3.6 million watts. Boom. And over here is Sura, the one that he links in the article. And it looks like this. It's kind of old school. Here, this is really funny looking one. You guys should check it out. So look, like they got these, they're basically like poles and got these rings on them. So basically it's like a field with a bunch of poles with a chain link fence that covers the sky. So if you imagine like some kind of effed up, you know, Barnum and Bailey circus without the tent, just like a big wire mesh, that's what it looks like. And the whole field looks like this. So big square. That most of these are squares. They are sometimes referred to as rectennas. Like rectangular antenna, rectenna. So that's the one in Russia. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that. But they're all on climateviewer.org. If you go to the electromagnetic facilities section, that is where it normally is. And it's just ionospheric heaters. Click on that. I will link the guys in chat to that map because it is the world's most accurate map, and it has been for 5 years. And people still share pictures of this stuff and don't know anything about it. I don't get it. Anyway, each of these dots, when you click on them, I've meticulously gone through, found the websites of the organization's photo galleries, details, specifications, and other stuff for you to click on. So if you come down here, you'll see the NERC, the National MST Radar Facility. This is a pretty freaking awesome photo. Check this out. That's when it's on and like the whole damn field glows. Oh, yeah, that's crazy to me personally. Like, this is science fiction, science fact. That's why I'm into this stuff, because you want to look at people type, you know, I'm a Trekkie, Star Wars fan, you know, like sci-fi and stuff. This is the real deal, dude. I mean, it's oh man, I overzoomed. Look at that. So then the coolest one, personally, my opinion, if you call something that cooks your planet cool, is the one over in Japan. And it's the Shigaraki MU University Observatory. And this one's just like off the chain crazy looking. Look at this. What? That is real. That's like a real thing. What's that, chat? I have an email? My email is jim@climateviewer.com. Jim, like Jimbo, @climateviewer.com. Yeah, so this is the Shigaraki middle. What does MU stand for? Man, I'm out of practice. Seriously out of practice. Been talking about chemtrails too damn long. Y'all did that to me. I blame you. And finally, the second largest one in the world is up here in Norway, and it is the Tromsø heater. And it's like a little party down here. There's actually 3 heaters side by side at this location. I'm gonna go back to the 3D view. Screw you, flat earthers. What the hell? So boringville. Makes it no fun. I mean, why would you want flat when you could go round, baby? It doesn't even make sense to me. So if you come here and you look at it in 3D, you can see that there's actually 3 separate HAARPs here. Everybody just calls these things HAARPs. They're ionospheric heaters. Even at HAARP, the actual thing that's at HAARP that does the cooking of the sky ain't called HAARP. Most people don't know that. It's called the Ionospheric Research Instrument, the IRI. So that's just a little funny inside joke. I mean, for inside politics, I guess. But regardless, there's 3 separate antennas at this bitch, and the big one's right here. And then there's 2 smaller ones, one here and one here, and they operate on different frequencies. So that wasn't enough. They got over here. They got these like radar dishes and stuff. I could turn that on if you want to see a picture of it. I won't get sidetracked. But regardless, they're now upgrading Tromsø to a bigger than HAARP. And you're going to see it right now. See this line right here? This is called IceCat 3D. And it's actually going to be 100 gigawatts where HAARP was 3.6. So the guy, he goes through my stuff, he copy pastes it, history, how it works, destroying Van Allen belts, create artificial ionospheric mirrors, create ELF waves that are heard around the world, plasma clouds in space, create air glow using rocket exhaust plumes and heating them up with high frequency beams and radar beams. Oh my God, this stuff's cool. Think we are crazy, Russian guy. Oh, that's still me reading. That's still me. I got to scroll past me, guys. Oh Lord, my heart. Okay. Maybe artificially heating the ionosphere isn't so innocent. Oh my God. This dude is a doctor from MIT. He read it. He went, it's a thing, you know? And that shows the power of the internet, people. I went and I dug all this stuff up on the internet, wrote it up, just put some bullets up there and went, look, it's a military weapon doom kind of thing, and people should be outraged about it. Doctor agrees with me and says maybe it isn't so innocent. No matter which version you choose to believe, or somewhere in between, do you really think purposeful anthropogenic climate alteration is a good idea in the first place? For those in the audience who are wondering what the hell anthropogenic climate alteration is, that's geoengineering, baby. That's what y'all call geoengineering, climate engineering, climate modification, weather modification, space weather modification. We call it a lot of things. This guy called it anthropogenic climate alteration. Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a good idea in the first place? If so, leave me an answer in the comments. If you don't, also leave me an answer in the comments. But I personally think that, especially on this scale, this is definitely a no-fly zone for me, baby. This should not be happening. So ionospheric heating, ClimateViewer say no. And then he continues. And this is the best part, guys. We're at the end of the article. This is great shit. Could these HAARP activities be the reason for the troubling anomalies in our climate data and modeling? Link to the pause. This MIT dude just said, wait a minute. Does HAARP have something to do with the 18-year pause in global warming? And at first, I wanted to go, what? And then I went, oh my God, that is an extreme coincidence, because HAARP was built and operational in 1997. That's about 18 years. Damn, that's a coincidence. Anyway, he points out that coincidence. Then he goes on to say anomalies capitalized upon by climate denying interests in their fight against climate activists and concerned scientists. And he links to a video of some science dude shitting on Ted Cruz. Kind of funny. Considering those copper needles from MIT in 1963 are still orbiting the Earth today, this is the question, guys, is there a chance that some scientific communities exist that are too reckless and arrogant for us to tolerate unchecked? Do you think that ionospheric heater technology like HAARP is too reckless and arrogant for us to tolerate unchecked? If you do, let me know in the details. If you don't, let me know in the details, and please explain why, because I would really like to know why that you think ionospheric heating is okay. I don't think there will not be a comment defending that. Just my prediction. Climate action punchline. The U.S. patents, bam, 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 concerning the HAARP technology are held by a defense contractor who bought them from an oil company. Whoa, man. So this is not on the website. This is not in the details or the homework, but I got a book about Tesla. Nikola Tesla. It was written by Margaret Cheney, and it's called Man Out of Time. And in that book, in the forward, and it says a new forward, so I don't know if this is in the original book or the new book. Just go look it up. It's in there. Margaret Cheney, Man Out of Time. Arco, the oil company he's referring to here, Arco built HAARP. This is the quote. I'm not saying this. She's saying this. She does her homework. Arco built HAARP in Alaska to convert methane into electricity and pump it down to the lower United States, continental United States, through the sky. That HAARP would create an electric pipeline in the sky to transmit electricity from Alaska to America. Amazing. So if that's true, and they did that, by the way, they had an experiment where they shot the electricity from Alaska at HAARP to the EVLA, the Extended Very Long Array, the one that's in all those movies like Contact, where you see all those satellite dishes out in the freaking desert and it's owned by the U.S. government. EVLA. So they shot the beam down there to see how much of it was left. And unfortunately for them, it was only like 3-5 watts. They put 3.6 million watts into the antenna. And when the electricity got to the US, so this isn't just some bullshit in the front of her book, they actually tried it. They got 3 watts down there, something like that. It was minute. It might have been 0.3 watts, but regardless, What they didn't realize was all along the way, that power was absorbed by water. Because when you pass that heat through water, that electricity through water, all of that decays. We won't get too scientific tonight, but regardless, none was left. So that's the idea here, that they've got an electromagnetic weapon up there that now is owned by the University of Alaska. The U.S. Air Force and U.S. Naval Research Labs sold it to the University of Alaska just recently. I just did a video not too far back about the harpoon experiment that Chris Fallon was doing. But regardless, the experiments will continue up at HAARP until we all, kind of get on the same page and say enough's enough. And this is a major step in the right damn it direction. To have a doctor at MIT look over the evidence, go, this is a real thing, and we should be concerned. I sent Ken Caldera the same information in 2012, and he said, why did you include HAARP in your weather modification history timeline? And back then, it wasn't called weather modification history. It was just on my, anyway, we won't get into that, but I've had this timeline that I've been working on for years. And he said, why is HAARP in there? For the conspiracy aspects? And I said, no, jerk off, because you should know about the long history of magnetospheric modification, which started long back 63, 53. He pretended not to know about it. I don't understand why, but you can learn about it all at weathermodificationhistory.com, climateviewer.com/HAARP. And please check out Dr. Shankman's article, share it around. Make sure that this gets some shares. Comment on it. I haven't commented yet. There's only one comment there. I need to comment and thank him. I'm going to put this video in that comment because epic win tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to continue winning. And if you guys will support me, I'm going to the heart of the belly of the beast to the Weather Modification Conference. It's called the 21st Conference on Planned and Inadvertent Weather Modification. It's January 9 through 11. Oh my God, numerologists take joy in that. 2018 at the Austin Convention Center, Hilton, Austin, Texas. So here's the links to that and all of the presentations that will be there. If you guys send me to this conference, I'm going to memorize everything that these guys say. And in the question and answer session at the end, I'm going to ask them some serious questions, not these little softball questions I heard the last conference they had in 2015. We're going to try to change this dynamic. I'm going to go there, and this is a dream for me. You guys know that I'm passionate about the topic, that this is something that needs to be done, and I'm the guy for the job at this point. Stuff's on MIT, dog. Oh Lord, it just doesn't get any better than this today. So guys, please support my efforts. I'm going to continue to do this. This is a lifelong passion. I quit my job for this, so guys, don't let me down. Seriously. Oh, and last but not least, I always check my stat counter. It's my only tracking software. If you do not want to be tracked when you come to climateviewer.com, use AdBlock Plus. It will completely let you surf the site anonymous. But hell, if you're coming on a website and you're worried about being tracked and you don't have a VPN, you got issues. And I got tissues. So please support my efforts. I'm going to continue to do this forever and ever. And this is just the start of a new change in the discussion. I want to go have these conversations with them. We're going to sit down. I got an Emmy award-winning videographer coming with me. I know, dude. I want you guys to vicariously enjoy the hell out of what I'm doing. But regardless, what I was saying about that stat counter thing is I saw this jewel. And I'm going to end with this little jewel. Ecosia.org. Search the web and we'll plant a frickin' tree. You guys know me with my Dr. Seuss quote at the end of every one of my videos, and I refer to myself as the Lorax, and I tell every single one of these geoengineers and climate scientists, hell, go plant trees. And these guys really get it. I mean, it just on the surface, I don't know, could be pure evil, could be Sauron running the website, I don't know, but 15 million trees planted so far. And I looked at their numbers. They've actually got, like Y trees. And if you guys don't know why trees, they cool the climate. Trees absorb CO2. Biodiversity, they're great for forests, man. Soil protection. Trees protect the soil. Duh. Roots, they happen. Clean air. Trees clean the oxygen. They create clean oxygen for you to breathe. Yeah. Happy people. Trees make me happy personally. I go in the woods. I love the hell out of them. I hug them. I'm a tree hugger. I mean, when I was in Boy Scouts, I slept under them. I love trees. Water security, it actually helps with the water cycle. All that. By the way, they didn't even mention these things make clouds. They cloud seed. That's not on the list. They should add that. That is natural cloud seeding, not the bullshit that they pay for. Natural ass cloud seeding provided by trees. So they actually have a breakdown of how they use their ad revenue to plant trees. Guys, look into it. Try to use it. I'm going to start using it. I put it up here on my little short bar, and I'm going to start searching on Ecosia. So pretty cool. Plant a tree. You make me smile. And if they're shady, let me know. but it looks really awesome on the surface. So shout out to Ecosia. Cool ass search engine. All right, guys. Well, pretty epic night. MIT giving all the climate scientists a tongue lashing that they definitely need. And I hope that this will open some eyeballs and you guys will share it around. And unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's going to get better. It's not.